Morton Anderson is 3 of 3, 44, and the last two 32 yards in distance. And the Chiefs now with a 10-point lead. Michael Jenkins and Jonathan Wells will go back to receive the kickoff from Morton. You look at Morton Anderson, we mentioned it'll be 42 tomorrow, but the last 13 years he's had a personal fitness trainer, a fitness guru, if you will, that works on his flexibility, works on his mental prowess. Whatever it is working.
Yeah, it's really difficult to be a kicker.
Here is Anderson kicking off. Oh, my. Jonathan Wells inside the 5, up to the 15, to the 20, and he'll be bulldogged down at the 24-yard line.
I like that he's going to be playing when he's 50, but he's still a kicker.
Monty Flexel there to make the tackle. I'm going to go talk to Morton about you. We'll return after these messages from your local station.
Chiefs football on Fox 4. Brought to you by Arby's, who invites you to try their new Market Fresh sandwiches.
Hey, baby.
Huh?
Why are you eating that clown food? It's your appetite, darling. We need Arby's triple cheese and bacon.
Ooh, sounds good.
Something sizzling. Oh, my. They really put the ooh in food.
Ooh, you're making me hungry.
That's my job, baby.
Why settle for ordinary when there's Arby's triple cheese and bacon?
Give in to your grown-up taste.
Johnson residence?
Yes.
Experience all the action of racing with the Great Clips 500 Racing CD. It's free with every haircut. Plus, get a free trial to Real One Super Pass from Real Networks, featuring exclusive online programming from the most exciting media brands. You better hurry, because this offer's going fast. Free racing CD with every haircut. Only at Great Clips.
It's Ford's authorized clearance, and the deals are rocking. With 0% financing, or up to $3,500 cash back. Choose from a huge selection of great Ford cars like the sleek and sporty ZX2. With $2,000 cash back, plus an additional $1,000 back if you finance through Ford Motor Credit. You'll get a total of $3,000 cash back, bringing your starting price down to $10,330. Get to the Ford authorized clearance at your Midwest Ford dealers, home of 5 of America's 10 best sellers.
Chiefs up by 10, 16-6, 10:28 left to go in this third quarter. That last drive set up on that 44-yard kickoff return by Dante Hall, culminating in a field goal by Morton Anderson. Kent Graham is the new quarterback now, one of Tim's former teammates in Notre Dame before he transferred to Ohio State. From the 24, Graham wearing number 10, and he gives off to Wells, and Wells is able to take it out to the 29-yard line. Scott Fujita was there to make the tackle, and this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited.
Kent Graham's got a strong arm. He's a veteran guy, but he couldn't run the option very well if you look at him.
Well, he backed up Tony Rice, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, he couldn't run the option, so he went to Ohio State, and probably a good move for him. 2nd
down and 5. Here's a handoff to Wells again. Bangs forward across to the 32. We have some changes up front now as Gary Stills is in there now. He made that tackle. Devin Wyman, a huge 6'7", 320-pounders in there. T.J. Bingham is in. Turdell Sands will try to catch them all for you. I'll tell you that Wyman is a big man out of Kentucky State. And he's a guy that, you know, they're very interested in. Hasn't really been able to contribute that much yet, but who knows?
He had a couple nice plays against San Francisco. I remember that screen he came off and played the running back and also made the tackle.
3rd and 2, Graham being flushed out, deflected up in the air, intercepted by Richard Jordan. Jordan on the deflection comes down with it. The deflection by Turdell Sands, a guy we were just mentioning.
John Coffey. Big John Coffey, number 91. They call him John Coffey. He looks like the guy from the Green Mile.
And we'll be back after these messages from your local station. The Chiefs have the ball.
Billions of calls travel through SBC's telecommunication networks. Some are for us. From people looking for us to solve a problem, fast.
In our southwestern Bell region, we monitor our networks 24/7. So a lot of times we can spot a problem and fix it before anyone even notices. The customer. That's who we answer to. Infinite Trust. SBC.
He's back. Yeah, baby, yeah! Download the Austin Powers in Gold member high-speed screenmate from Roadrunner High Speed Online, packed with exclusive extras. Austin Powers in Gold member movie clips and essential movie trivia.
I am a sexy beast.
You could win a 6-day, 5-night trip to London provided by Radisson instantly. Tell a friend. It's only for Roadrunner customers.
Call now, 816-743-2444.
Chiefs by 10, their 4th interception in 2 games, and this one picked off by Richard Jordan.
Let's watch Tredell Stanzo make the play. He's getting stopped. He's got a double team on him. But watch him. He puts his hand up, and coming up right here, puts his hand up. Bam. Hits the ball. Richard Jordan, a guy they love, a guy who's had a great camp, picks out the ball. And the Kansas City Chiefs get great field position and have a chance to score again.
And the people in Joplin are happy. Of course, he matriculated at Missouri Southern, a guy who had the team made last year and got hurt. And then Dick Vermeil kept in contact with him. He's back trying to make the roster once again. So the interception sets it up for Quinn, who was 4 of 5 for 35 yards on the last field goal. Here and back to throw is Quinn's got a lot of time over the middle, complete to Curtis Jackson, makes a nice open field move, and he's close to a first down at the 27-yard line. I tell you, Curtis Jackson's fun to watch. He really is. He makes some things happen in the open field. Greg Jones there to make the tackle.
He really is. And watch Willie Jones. Big Willie. Here's a guy that came from the Rams with Dick Vermeil. It was kind of a project, and he really has done a nice job here. Watch him get his big body in front of him right here. He's you can't really see him. He's out. There he is. He's watching. Rushes him right by. Nice job by Big Willie Jones.
That is a big body. And here's handoff to Blaylock, trying to bounce outside, and I think he got the first down. You know, Willie Jones, in talking to Dick Vermeil, Tim, he thought there were some times in camp where he was just literally dominating in the run game. I mean, he was just mashing people.
By last year, he came in as a practice squad guy with about 6 games left, and I've never seen a man so just naturally strong.
Yeah.
He took Dwayne Clemens and picked him up and threw him in the air like 4 yards. And it's a big man. He's a strong guy. His back has been bothering him. I'm glad to see him back out there.
Yep.
He's lost a lot of weight, too. He's lost about 30 pounds.
Omar Easy is checked into the ball game now. 14th first down of the night now for the Chiefs. They have a first down just short of the 25, and a pass on the far side broke it up, intended for Easy. Pretty good coverage that time by Houston's Greg White, who, by the way, last week had 4 sacks in that victory that they had. However, Dick Vermeil called him 3 bags, meaning there were 3 busted plays that allowed him to get to the quarterback.
Well, that certainly wasn't an easy catch for Easy there. It was a little bit behind him.
Oh, that had to happen. I knew it was coming. I just was wondering when. Second down, 10 yards to go. You use that next week. I'm calling up and going to complain to Roger when you're working with him.
We can
prepare him ahead of time.
3-man booth next week.
Second down, 10. Here's a quick throw to Jackson. Jackson to the 20 and wrestled down there. Spreading it around as a tackle made that time by DeMarcus Fagans, who played at Kansas State. And they're going to bring up now 3rd down, still 4 yards to go.
Once again, just a little flare pass, giving the wide receivers a chance to make a play. And you know, these guys got some athletic ability. They got some speed. One broken tackle, and they can go all the way. I like this from Al Saunders in this preseason game. Obviously, they're stressing the short pass and letting these guys run.
Chad Hayes, the big rookie out of Maine, is coming to tight end. Reggie Jones will go in motion. Play action by Quinn. Quinn looking up the field, deflected up in the air and incomplete. That was a dangerous pass. Chad Hayes, the tight end at the 2, was closest to it, but that ball was up for grabs. Incomplete. And it'll bring up now a 3rd down.
A nice block by Derek Blaylock. Let's watch him here if you can see it. He comes up and makes a nice little cut block right here. And then Reggie Jones, that was a bullet again. It came up, and sometimes you can get those. I don't think Morton Anderson signed up for all these field goals here.
No, this will be his 4th attempt. 44, 32, 32, and this is going to be a 37-yard attempt, and he is dead center perfect. He is 4 of 4 tonight.
This kicker
19-6.
This kicker is automatic.
Yes, he is. We'll return after these messages from your local station.
The icebreaker Olatak is powered by 6 diesel engines. Sometimes, however, it needs a 7th diesel. The Ford Super Duty Power Stroke. It's packed with 525 pound-feet of torque, more than any truck of its kind on Earth. Full Series, the world's best-selling truck 25 years running, has no boundaries.
Introducing McDonald's new Chicken Select Strips. So, what do you want? I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really want a zig-a-zig.
What an exciting athlete. Otis Taylor, OT for the Chiefs. An end around from Lenny Dawson, takes it in, and watch this move. Oh, a little hurdle action. Dawson connecting with him in the Super Bowl with Otis Taylor. And let's go down to Al Wallace. Al?
Okay, Gary, I've got part of that retooled Chiefs offensive front with me now, Brian Waters. Brian, you guys got to play extensively, I would say, there in the first half. Grade your performance up front.
I think we did all right. I think there's a lot of, technical mistakes that we probably try to work on. But other than that, we got done what we wanted to get done.
Now, you know behind you, Will Shields, Casey Wagman, and John Tate, other starters, giving you a hard time. You're not supposed to do interviews, certainly not during the game, not according to them.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, offensive linemen, we always say overworked and underpaid. So this is definitely something out of the norm.
Overworked, but good work tonight. Thanks.
Definitely good work.
Thank you.
Good work. Thank you.
You think those guys weren't listening to that interview? Waters might be the best offensive lineman in the league no one knows anything about, and he's going to make a name for himself. A short kick to Jonathan Wells, and Wells will bring it out to the 35. Here comes another flag.
That's going to cost him $25 right there, Brian Waters, for talking on this program.
Lou Bush down on the coverage that time to make the tackle. And let's see who this one's against. It's going to be against Houston.
That's hard to believe.
The Texans, an interesting team. They are the 32nd team in the NFL. This is a different expansion team from the standpoint that they have more draft picks. They had an expansion pool to work off of. They had 27 months to get ready. And Dom Capers, he was with Carolina their first year. But look at this, going to Kansas City, Kansas City. You can see here the Texans.
Are you singing? Don't do that again.
Win the AFL championship. Tommy Booker, remember the field goal?
Leave the comedy and singing to me, please.
Okay. Well, when you get funny, I will. First down now, just short of the 25-yard line. Kent Graham, the quarterback, gives off to Wells. This Wells is a pretty impressive runner. He got close to 9 yards on that play, brings it out to 33-yard line. Gary Stills there. Stills is a guy still trying to make the adjustment, number 55, coming from a linebacker to a defensive end spot. And they talk about, Tim, it's hard for him still to learn to get in that three-point stance.
Yeah, it is. But let's just take a look at this running back. All you young running backs out here, you didn't have a lot to go by here. The hole wasn't that big. Yeah, they did a little cutback, but watch his feet. Watch his legs. They never stop moving. Never stop moving. Guys, you can get a lot of yards. Just keep your feet moving.
Wells had a great senior year at Ohio State, an all Big Ten performer. He was a team MVP. He gets about a yard this time. He didn't get the first down. He only needed about a yard and a half. It'll bring up third down. TJ Bingham was there. Bingham, we haven't talked a lot about him, but he's a guy from Ouachita Baptist, and he's a guy who they think is a natural pass rusher. And they're going to measure, I guess, after all. I didn't think they had the first down. Maybe they do.
Well, the thing I'm happy about is I was able to play against the Houston Oilers a couple times, and probably my favorite game ever playing was down in the Houston Astrodome, and that's a great crowd, a great tradition down there. I remember watching Earl Campbell as a kid and watching all those great Houston players, and they deserve a franchise, and I'm glad they're back there. And what a better name than the Houston Texans.
I don't know if you've been down there, but Reliance Stadium, where they're going to open up next week in a home game against Miami, makes the Houston Astrodome look very small.
What wasn't the Houston Astrodome one of the wonders of the world?
Oh, it was at one time, yeah, when they built that. I can still remember it was a phenomenal thing, but Reliance Stadium, which is in the parking lot area, away from the Astrodome, just dwarfs it. And it's a retractable, air-conditioned stadium, retractable roof. Third, it should make this first down now from the 34-yard line. They got the first down by measurement. Kent Graham, big guy, at 6'5" at quarterback, gives it to Wells, and Wells this time doesn't get a lot. He's dropped about a yard gain, and that's all. Gary Stills over there to make the tackle.
You know, if Gary Stills is going to be successful in this league, he's got to be a good pass rusher, but he also has to make some plays on the run like he did here. Let's watch how low he is. He played off the block, actually almost a double team, came off, spun, got low, put his head up, saw what he hit. Nice tackle by Stills right there, and he's going to have to do more of that to make this team. He's going to have to stop the run also.
Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 now from the 35. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Chiefs with a 19-6 lead, trying to go 2-0 in the preseason. Texans 1-1. We're going to blow this play dead. Flag comes out. Just too many penalties here tonight.
Yeah.
Way too many penalties.
It really is, and I'm sure Don Capers is going to have a long talk with his team about this, whether it's on them or not right here.
The ball was snapped. Ball start, 66, offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
I think I've lost count, Gary, but I think it's at least 14 penalties, and that is way too much. You see a little shake there, a little anxious to get off the ball. And you know what? You can't win in this league. If you turn the ball over and you have penalties, you can't win.
So that'll move it inside the 30 to the 29. Don Capers, a guy who the last 2 years was the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin. When they came out with Carolina, they had drafted a lot of older players. They really came on quickly, but then they fizzled as the team grew old. Here's a pass completed to Wells, and Wells never was knocked down. Goes out of bounds on the far side. Shenard Hartz, who had an interception last week in San Francisco, over to make the tackle.
Yeah, nice play. Came up and made the fill, knocked him out of bounds, and brings up a 3rd and long situation.
Coming in now is Glenn Cordez. Cordez is number 59, and Fujita comes out of the ball game as a good to see Glenn back. This is a guy who played with Greg Robinson in Denver when he was a defensive coordinator. He trusts him. He really understands what Greg is trying to do, because Robinson's defense, as you know, Tim, is very complicated.
He goes back as far as the Jets when Robinson was there also. These guys follow Robinson around. He knows his team, and he knows his offense.
3rd and 11. Graham with a bullet, and it's deflected up the field. And is it caught? They're going to give him rule. No, it's incomplete. That almost was caught by Tony Simmons. Corey Harris defending on the play and went through 2 wide receivers and fell incomplete.
Well, once again, the defensive backs for the Kansas City Chiefs, Belzer, I believe it was here, it came up and made a nice little tip. And you got to like the way the defensive backs are playing. And, you know, you got to like the way I guess that was Corey Harris. You got to like the way the defensive linemen and linebackers get their hands at.
J.J. Moses goes back now to receive this punt. There's another flag. Wobbly kick. Moses coming up. He'll call for the fair catch and make it to the 28-yard line.
I think they didn't hear the thump. Somebody left a little bit early. Let's see what happens. But usually when the flag comes up like that, a couple seconds after the snap, that's what it is.
I'd like to see J.J. get a chance to really return one. He's an exciting guy to watch play. And speaking of Iowa State, where he was going to school, they're going to be playing here, aren't they?
I can't wait. I'm going to bring the boys out here and watch that game. Actually, I'll be out in Seattle.
Number 98 of the kicking team was not up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
So they'll do it again. I'll tell you, that'll be a tough game for Iowa State. As J.J. Moses, as you mentioned, won't be able to sit because he'll be out in Seattle. That's the 13th penalty tonight for 70 yards. Whoa.
Wow. Iowa State always has a great contingent of fans that come up here for the old Big 12 tournament now that's down in Dallas. So they'll have a lot of fans here. I heard they sold about 40,000 tickets just to Iowa State fans.
Here's another punt, a wobbly kick. This is going to be returnable. Moses at the 35 to the 40, trying to change of direction, spins around, and somehow gets across the 45. Very resourceful effort by J.J. Moses. Ramon Walker eventually caught up with him, but you got to love the way he was squirming around trying to find an opening.
I've seen these plays like this, but only on video games.
He bounced around, spun around, and we'll be back with the Chiefs leading 19-6 after these messages from your local station.
Summer's going fast, and so is 0% at your local Chevy dealer. So hurry in for the last days of 0% APR for 60 months on select new 2002 Chevy trucks. Or choose $2,500 cash back on Avalanche, Tahoe, and Suburban, or $3,000 on S10.
So don't delay. Act now. Supplies are running out.
Get in by September 3rd and get 5 years interest-free at your local Chevy dealer.
Now there are 2 ways to bring music to your mouth. Introducing Wendy's new Jazzy Blue Bacon Cheeseburger and Jazzy Blue Chicken. Both hit high notes with a swinging blue cheese sauce, black pepper and garlic Monterey Jack, and smoky bacon. The Jazzy Blue combos, now playing at Wendy's. It's better here. And remember, you can eat great even late.
No matter who you are, everybody's got a little diet doing them. Yeah! Nice shot. So don't hold back. Do the diet do.
Hey, call or stop by Pizza Hut and get a large single-topping stuffed crust pizza for only $9.99. Only at Pizza Hut. Carl Peterson will be joining us here briefly as we come back into action with 3.33 left to go in the third quarter. Chiefs with a 19-6 lead. Looks like Tim Grunhart. I'm Gary Bender. Back to throw as Quinn steps up in a lot of trouble, gets rid of the ball, throws it far side, and he threw that ball a long ways, intended for Reggie Jones at about the 10-yard line.
Nice pass. He got the ball up in the air again. I like the way this kid throws the ball. He really gives the wide receivers a chance. Got some new offensive linemen in. Ian Allen is in. Victor Alatoy is in. And I believe Sean Lynch may be in. I couldn't quite tell. Now, you know what? Jason Anderson's still in there. But got some young guys in to see what they can do against this Texan defense.
I tell you, that showed me something on the strength of his arm. I mean, he didn't have time to set and throw. He was running forward and got rid of the ball. Stops the clock with 3:27. Second down, 10 from the 47. Play action. Quinn again over the middle, complete, and then knocked loose. Big stick that time was put on the tight end, Chad Hayes. He was hit by DeMarcus Fagans, and he's shaken up.
Yeah, he didn't know that was coming. That's a tough hit. You know, that's the kind of let's watch it here. He's going out here a little flat pattern. Actually, he's coming across here. He gets the ball. He's not looking at the ball. The guy comes up, makes a nice stick. Hits him underneath the chin there. Looks like he went to grab his face mask. And, boy, that hurts.
Chad Hayes, a free agent. He's a forestry major at Maine. He played for the Black Bears, an All-Atlantic 10 pick. He's a big guy, 6'6", 254. He and Blakely getting a lot of playing time with Tony Gonzalez out of camp. Billy Baber out with an ankle injury, Dunn nursing a bad back. So they've been kind of relegated about 3 guys available at tight end right now.
What is a forestry major? Is he just...
They're tree huggers, I guess. I don't know. What are they? I don't have any. I think you study the forest.
Yeah, he goes, looks at the tree, says, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh, Bolly, people like you.
He's up and walking off. That's good. So Hayes will shake it off. And Quinn will have a third down, 10 yards to go from the 47 of the Chiefs. 3:22 left to go in the third. Chiefs 19, the Texans, the guys from the Lone Star State 6. From the shotgun this time will go Quinn. Rolls low on the snap. Got it over the middle, and Sylvester Morris lets it get deflected and out of his hands, and it's going to be intercepted. It is picked up on the ball further up the field. And so the Texans, Hakeem Akbar was there to come up with it as Morris could not hang on.
Yeah, Morris coming across the middle here. The ball was thrown a little bit high. Probably should have caught it. But this is why the defensive backs always work on what we call the tip drill. When the ball is tipped in the air, they do this all the time. One of the first drills they do, the ball's tipped up, and somebody else will come running out from maybe 15 yards away and catch it. And right there, it paid off. The tip drill paid off.
That's the first interception the Chiefs have suffered here in the preseason. They're still looking over Chad Hayes. Hopefully, it looks like they're looking to that right arm or elbow. So after an interception by Akbar, here comes Kent Graham, gives off to Wells, and Wells is smothered as he gets to the 23-yard line. Good reaction that time by Jason Belzer.
That's hard to believe. Jason Belzer's been all over the place the last 2 preseason games, and he smelled out the tackle there and was able to get his head in and make a nice stick.
Look ahead to the rest of the preseason. We have talked about the fact the Chiefs will head to the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, 9 o'clock, and then the St. Louis Rams. That's always quite a rivalry for the Governor's Cup. And, of course, for Dick Vermeil, that has special meaning as well after taking the Rams to the Super Bowl championship. 2nd down and 10. Wells caught from behind. Very good tackle that time by Shenard Hartz. You know, Hartz is flashy. You see him last week with an interception. 7th round pick a year ago out of Boise State. There's times you really notice this guy, number 42, running around out there.
Yeah, that was a quick play, a great read. He just was able to run through that hole. He read it well. Looks like he was prepared. The coaches got him in a good position to be successful there. He came up and made the tackle. Nice play, Shenard Hartz.
3rd down, 10 yards to go, as Graham will go from the shotgun. Graham, they thought would be the starter opening day, but forget that, the way David Carr is playing. Here is Graham stepping up in the pocket, throwing on the run up the field, broken up nicely. Very good play by Corey Harris out of North Alabama. He played that perfectly.
Also a nice rush there by T.J. Bingham. Was able to get in the legs of Graham there to make him throw the ball a little bit wobbly. Great, I'll tell you, the defensive backs for the Kansas City Chiefs have covered pretty decently.
Yes, they have.
In the last 2 games. Their tackling was a little suspect last week, but they tackled better this week.
Peter Junta has to be happy with that. Aaron Langley will punt the ball away. He had a trial with the Bears. J.J. Moses goes back. Here's Langley's punt. He hit it well. Moses, this is very returnable at the 41, up to the 45, coming to the near side. He's got a wall to the 50, the 45, reverses to the 40. He's to the 35, and this guy is fun. He is fun to watch. J.J. Moses, who was an all-Big 12 kick returner at Iowa State, and he had the crowd on their feet. A 24-yard return.
All right, Monty Beisel once again with a nice block. Great run by Moses. Let's see if I can get it for you. There he goes. He went over here and went all of a sudden, there he goes. Great run. Great. He set up a couple blocks. Here's the wall right here, guys. This is what you try and get, the wall. He got the wall, and then all of a sudden he said, oops, let me go back around this way. And he comes back around. Nice block there by, I guess it was, who was that? Number 50? Number 60. Donald Willis.
Yeah.
By golly, Donald's running around. I was going to say, couldn't be Donald Willis, but I guess it was.
Well, I tell you, I love to watch J.J. Moses. He is fun to watch. 1st down now at the 35-yard line. Quinn will give off, and not a lot of running room as a flag comes out again. That was Omar Easy.
I was watching the center on that play, and I hate to say it, but it was a holding on Anderson on this. What he did was a little jump hook. He jump hooked him. He got his hand outside and threw him on the ground. You can't throw people on the ground anymore in the NFL.
Holding 64, Kansas City. 10 yards, repeat 1st down.
Al, let's get an update on Chad Hayes. What's going on?
Gary had the wind knocked out of him, the free agent tight end out of Auburn. His return is probable. You mentioned the return game. J.J. Moses, I like him a lot. Dante Hall, I like him a lot too. Both have shown signs of positive return yardage tonight.
They have, Al, and as you know, last year they didn't get a lot of productivity out of that area.
The only guy that ever saw a run like that was a speedster named Al Wallace out of Texas Tech.
Oh, what a catch by Dante Hall. He went up and snatched that one out of the air. Now remember, Hall is only 5'8". He went up and plucked it out of the midnight air and brings it down to the 18-yard line. That's a heck of a catch.
Great pocket, great protection. Gave him time, set his foot, good throw, good catch. Let's watch Hall come over here, comes across our screen, makes a nice catch across the middle. You gotta like it. This guy's only 5'6", and he plays like he's 6'3" on that play, that's for sure.
And so the gain now sets it up after a pickup of 27 yards for a 1st down. Here's Hall again, makes a little nifty move, gets an additional yard as he gets inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line.
Is it me, Gary? Does it look like the Kansas City Chiefs are a little bit more athletic this year than they were last year?
Well, I tell you, that's one of the things they want to do. And part of that athleticism, as you know, Tim, is speed. If you can run, it makes you look more athletic.
But these guys are making moves in the open field. J.J. Moses did it on that return, and Dante Hall did it right there. He ducked under, got a couple more yards.
Give him pick up a 4 to bring up 2nd down and 6 yards to go. 2 receivers top of the field. Quinn gives off, and boy, bang, down goes the running back in a hurry as Derek Blaylock just couldn't get that one underway. Pretty good tackle that time by the Texans. And we have come to the end of the third quarter. That was Jimmy McLean, their leading tackler. The Chiefs 19, the Texans 6. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Stay with Fox 4 after the game. Al Wallace and Jason Lamb live with post-game analysis and interviews from the Chiefs locker room. Plus, more news on the West Nile virus now that it's arrived in the metro. What's next for city health officials? And what can you do to keep your kids safe while they play in the backyard? All coming up after the Chiefs game.
Chiefs football is on Fox 4. The Chiefs travel to Seattle to ruffle some tail feathers when they take on the Seahawks. Next Saturday at 9, only on Fox 4.
Come on. Yeah, I'm still in the car. 10 minutes, an hour, I've got no idea. This is ridiculous.
Can't wait to get your new Jetta? And with the offers going on now, why would you?
At IHOP, there's a new twist on breakfast. It's indulgent, it's fruity, and it's filled with cream cheese. It's swirly and saucy, outrageously good. It's IHOP's new stuffed French toast, filled with the creamiest cream cheese and covered with your choice of fruit toppings. Come in today for breakfast served just the way you crave it, starting at a delicious $2.99. Because anytime's a good time for IHOP.
We go to quarter number 4. The Chiefs on top 19-6 as we pick it up third down 6. Tonight's third quarter stats are brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit your local Chevrolet dealer today. You can see the Chiefs have jumped ahead in the passing department at 185 yards. Boy, the penalties. 13 penalties against Houston.
Can't have it.
Nope. 3rd and 6. Here's Quinn trying to keep the drive going. That quick slant, and it's intercepted. Intended for Curtis Jackson. Make that Kirk Rogers, and Jacoby Shepard with the interception. He had one last week. Shepard on the deflection. Let's watch it again.
Well, it's not a bad pass. They say when you're down in the end zone, you throw it low so it's not intercepted well. He threw it low and really a catchable ball.
Yep.
He didn't make the catch. I believe that was Rogers, and you got to make that catch, man, if you don't make this team.
Kirk Rogers, a rookie out of Hardin-Simmons, so that'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. As Jacoby Shepard was a former second-round pick of the Rams, and he's now a Texan.
Well, people have asked me, well, how did the Texans put their team together? They got 5 guys from Chicago, 4 guys from Jacksonville, 4 from Minnesota, and then 3 from Cincinnati, Indianapolis, New England, the Jets, and St. Louis and Washington. So they really got a lot of guys in from pretty successful teams.
Well, in this expansion draft, they picked up some outstanding players. They have 97 players on their roster. They can carry more than the rest of the league. That's 17 more than the Chiefs. So from the 20-yard line after the touchback and the interception, and a handoff to Michael Jenkins, number 25. He's been playing up in the Canadian Football League. Richard Jordan shut him down. Jenkins, who transferred from Wyoming, went to Arkansas, then in the CFL. Jordan, who has an interception, made a strong tackle there, a gain of a yard.
They also have 5 guys with rings, Super Bowl rings. A couple from the New England Patriots from last year, a couple from St. Louis, and then, of course, Jermaine Lewis, who returned a kick in the Super Bowl for a touchdown from Baltimore.
Here's Jenkins again. He's a little guy, 5'7", able to move it out to the 25. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Mike Landry is over there to make the stop. Landry out of Southern, a free agent this year. And 3rd down, 5 yards to go now for the 25. We're in the 4th quarter. 19-6 Chiefs leading the Houston Texans. Texans will get their first game ever in Reliance Stadium as they'll play host to Miami next week. This is their 3rd straight road trip. Of course, they have an extra game after playing in the Canton Hall of Fame affair. 3rd down, 5. Here is the quarterback now, Mike Quinn, not to be confused with Jonathan Quinn. Fumble. He's going to be sacked. The ball comes out, and they scramble for it at the 21, and the Chiefs have it.
Great job right there. I mean, that was an excellent rush from Stills. I believe it was Eric Stills who came
and
around.
Also, Cal Trulock was in on that. He's the guy who played for the Arena Football League team The Detroit Fury. Let's watch this.
Let's take a look and see who got to this ball.
It's Trulock.
It was Trulock.
Yes, it was.
There you go, young man. Right, from the Arena League.
A Brooklyn native. And nice play.
Maybe we found another Kurt Warner.
Jordan. Well, in a little different position.
Well, you know, it's...
Jordan came up with a fumble recovery after an interception. Joe Germain now is the new quarterback for Kansas City, the 4th to be used. And he's going to have Kirk Rogers in motion. Quick pitch. Here is Easy. Easy is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's cut down there. Good reaction that time by the Texans. So Easy, the 4th round pick out of Penn State.
Well, nice job of getting the ball back once again. The turnovers have been in the favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. That's something they've been working on. It's something they had to work on, because you can't turn the ball over 33 times and expect to win, and they've done a great job of that so far in the preseason.
So they'll mark the ball just inside the 25-yard line. Aaron Crittenden is now coming in an offensive tackle. He's a rookie out of Missouri. He also from St. Joe's. And on a 2nd down now, 12 yards to go. From the shotgun, Joe Germain, who played at Ohio State. And the ball underthrown. Coming back is Dante Hall. Did he catch it or trap it? I think it hit the ground. It's incomplete.
Germain's got to whip that ball out there. He had Hall open. Just get the ball out there, and let's take a peek and see what happened. Looked like the ball was just underthrown a little bit. Yeah, a little wobbly.
Yeah, he tried to come up, just couldn't do it.
Nice try by Dante Hall, and I think Germain wishes he had that ball back, because he had him wide open there.
Joe Germain, the quarterback in his 4th year. He was an outstanding player at Ohio State. He was able to take the Buckeyes to the Rose Bowl. He was a Big Ten offensive MVP, drafted in the 4th round by the Rams in '99. He'll step up in the pocket and throws into the back of the end zone. Rodgers can't get it. That was Kirk Rogers with a chance. He's trying to get both feet in bounds, could not.
Did that ball hit the goalpost? Joe Germain did pay for that, but it looked like the ball may have tipped the goalpost when it was coming down. Watch Germain. He steps up in the pocket. He sits there. Ooh,
oh, he took a shot.
That's a double hitter. Let's take a peek here. It just looked like it may have hit. Oh, didn't. He should have caught that one too. Come on, young man. You got to make those catches. You want to make this team.
Well, now we have Lawrence Tynes coming in to attempt the field goal after Morton Anderson had a very successful night of going 4 for 4, and this will be a 43-yard attempt. Straczynski to hold Tynes, who won it last week in overtime. He missed it wide right. So Tynes wide right. The first missed field goal tonight by either team. 12:38 left to go. Chiefs 19, Texans 6. Will return after these messages from your local station.
Chiefs football on Fox 4. Brought to you by AT&T Wireless. Welcome to M Life. AT&T Wireless.
Does a pair beat a straight?
Yes. What? Gina, 3?
Tina.
Oh, she's been sending me pictures.
On the phone?
Pictures of what? Things she can do. I'm out.
When a wireless phone lets you take and send pictures,
That ought to do it.
that's M Life from AT&T Wireless.
Why eat processed burger combos when you could have the new KFC 6-piece family value meal for only $7.99?
Get to KFC and get 6 pieces of original recipe or extra crispy chicken, 3 individual sides, and 3 flaky biscuits for only $7.99.
There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes?
No.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Let's go to KFC.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 3 large sides, and 6 biscuits, just $14.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Ford's authorized clearance is the time to buy with 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $3,500 cash back.
I got 0% financing for 5 full years.
With 0% financing for 5 years, the 5-star safety-rated Windstar has never been more affordable.
Buying during clearance, I'm saving over $6,000.
When Ford's authorized clearance ends, so does 0% financing for 5 years or $3,500 cash back on Windstar. Visit Ford's authorized clearance at your Midwest Ford dealer.
Well, looks like
19-6 Chiefs.
Looks like this guy's been tailgating a little bit too much out there before the game.
Before or after?
I don't know, but he needs to stop drinking, that guy.
Is this a great place or what? I love the plaza. Only thing is, my wife has spent all the money I have. She goes in there, and I'm in a deficit coming in here. Here's Mike Quinn back to throw, and he's able to make the completion out to about the 38-yard line. We got a lot of new people coming to the ball game now. This is John Minardi, number 15, a rookie out of Colorado who made the catch. That's going to be a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 40.
Nice little pattern here. Turns up, finds a hole in the zone. Tajay Allen comes up, makes the hit.
Tajay had an interception last week against the 49ers. Former Ram who played at Texas. Mike Quinn, who last year was a Miami Dolphin for a brief length of time, and a handoff to Jenkins, and Jenkins going to be tackled by Tajay Allen as Jenkins hits the first down across the 45-yard line. Jenkins pretty quick.
Yeah, he is. He reminds me of little Blaylock. He gets on that corner and can turn it up and get some yardage.
So Tajay's had an outstanding camp, probably the best camp that Dick Vermeil can remember all the years he was in St. Louis, and now, of course, with Kansas City. There on the stop, the gain goes actually across the midfield stripe. They're going to mark it the 49 of the Chiefs with 11.5 minutes left to go in this one. And Carl Peterson is going to be joining us here, and after the snap, we'll start our conversation with him. Mike Quinn back again.
Nice rush.
He's being flushed out, being chased by Bingham, giving ground, trying to stay alive, throws near side, incomplete. Tried to hit Adolph Harris, who's out of Cal State Northridge. And here is Carl Peterson. Carl, how you doing?
Hey, Gary, good. Tim, good to see you both. And standing here with one crutch. I was going to hide the crutch.
I know, but you know what? You play hurt. I like that.
Carl, are you probable for the opening game? Or?
I'm absolutely probable. I can't miss the opening game.
Right.
You know, you've been through this with our team doctor, John Brown. Sooner or later, John Brown gets everybody in the Chiefs
I noticed that, and you were talking about him in front of the team this year, about all the pain you went through. Complimenting him, that's right. 2nd down 10 as Quinn back again, and he's in trouble. He's going to get sacked. Well, Carl, give us kind of a synopsis of what you're seeing here tonight.
Well, first of all, I love our acquisition from the Arena Football League, number 92.
Yeah.
You know, he led that league in sacks, and that's why we signed him 2 weeks ago. He really has some great quickness. And you know, his first name in Swahili means ruler. So you didn't know that, did you, Tim? Our call.
I did not know that.
True luck.
That's right.
Anyway, he's done a nice job. You know, obviously pleased with a lot of things, a lot of good things. There's obviously other things we can work on, but thought the first unit did well again, and the defense needs a little work in the first unit too. But a lot of good pluses.
Carl, the thing I've noticed the most so far, though, this preseason is there's a lot of good athletes out there. Guys are making plays after they catch the ball. Guys are filling holes. Guys are running well. Did you purposely go out and try and find unbelievable athletes, fast guys to fill this team this year?
Well, the emphasis was and always has been, but maybe more so on speed. You're right, team speed on both sides of the ball, Tim. And you know, Lynn Stiles does a great job for us, and our Chuck Cook and our player personnel, Bill Kuhari, player personnel department. And I think, you know, Dick's pleased with an increase in team speed on both sides of the football.
Houston going to have to punt it away, and boy, did they get this one up in the air, and it bounces away from J.J. Moses. I was wanting him to return again. That was a fun return, wasn't it, a while ago?
He's quick, isn't he?
Oh.
You know, I think the NFL Europe League has really helped.
Yes.
Dante Hall a year ago, and then this year, J.J. Moses. They both come out of there with more experience, more confidence, and they've just, here he is here.
I tried to do.
Go ahead.
I tried to do the telestare to Carl, but I couldn't keep up.
He's a quick little Moses there, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He was parting the Red Sea there.
We're going to talk more with Carl Peterson. We're going to step away for a moment. 10:20 to go in this game. 19-6. We'll return after these messages from the Chiefs 2002 Network and your local station.
During the Dodge Summer Clearance, we can give you thousands of reasons to drive a new Dodge. Or we can give you 0. Because there's only one thing better than getting 0% financing for up to 60 months on select Dodge vehicles. It's getting 0% financing and our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Something you don't get from Ford, Chevy, Honda, or Toyota. 0% financing and our 770 warranty. More than enough reason to get to the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Our first lesson this morning will be the sit and stay command. And say, sit, stay, sit, stay, sit.
big trouble.
Buy online, return to the store.
No problem.
And now, get free shipping on everything at BestBuy.com.
Hey, burger lovers, it's time to embrace the taste of the zesty new Bistro Bacon Cheeseburger from DQ. It's the mighty tasty Bistro, built for flavor with an amazing new Bistro sauce that'll bite you back. Whoa, mama. Come try the delicious new Bistro Bacon Cheeseburger, then cool off with a creamy chocolate extreme blizzard treat. Right here, right now. DQ something different.
With Carl Peterson, I'm Gary Bender, Tim Grunhard. As we come back at the 7-yard line for the Chiefs, Joe Germain is the quarterback with 10:20 to go. And one of the things we were talking about, Carl, while we're away, is Willie Roaf, the 7-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle. He is something special.
Now, something we have a fumble here. And
now
really
we do,
is.
and
well, you can't turn it over down in the red zone.
Granville comes up with it.
Can't do that, but you know, this defense has been tough down there. This would be a nice little challenge for them to see if they can hold them to at least 3 here. That'd be. Hey, and you know as well as I do, Carl, these coaches, you know they're mad, but you know what? They like to see these different situations as the games go on.
Well, exactly.
In the preseason.
2-minute offense, 2-minute defense, goal line defense. And we're going to get a chance to do that now. And under you know, a little adversity, you see how they respond.
It will be interesting. Richard Jordan with an interception here tonight, made a fumble recovery, playing that middle linebacking spot now.
Doing a very good job. Went right to the last cut last year, and he's got a chance to make it this year.
So here's Mike Quinn, not to be confused with Jonathan Quinn, who I thought tonight really looked good for the Chiefs.
2 Irish guys playing quarterback.
And the handoff straight ahead as they pound it close to the 5-yard line. And so it'll bring up 2nd and goal there as Travis Prentice, who used to be with Cincinnati, able to get it close to the 5. Getting back to Roaf, though, you look at him, Carl, and he looks like he can hardly walk. But when that snap of the ball occurs, he's something special.
He really is. And he's playing on a leg and a half right now. He's getting better, though, every day. And we practice him just once a day. And our doctors are very confident he'll be 100%. But right now, like I say, even at the snap, he's something special.
He startles you.
Yep.
2nd and goal, just short of the 5 now. Tied in is Jake Moreland. A quick pitch coming to the near side, and Prentice cannot get the corner turned. A very good coverage effort that time by the Chiefs. And give credit that time to Lyle West, a former Giant, who's a very instinctive player, Carl.
He is. He's made a lot of fine special teams plays for us. He's got a chance to make our football team.
And the great thing about his West right here is he didn't lose contain. He kept his outside arm free, and that big tackle right here was trying to loop out and get him, and he did a good job of making a stop. And they're doing a good job in here, Carl.
Yep, this is, like you say, a good opportunity. Let's see if they can do it one more time.
Yeah, make them settle for the field goal here. 3rd down and goal now from the 8-yard line. This would be a great stop if they could get it done now at the 8:50 mark here of the 4th quarter. Quinn is back, throwing near side. The ball is dropped. Almost caught that time by Harris. Harris had it for a moment. Good coverage by Ahmad Hawkins, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Right. Another NFL EL guy, Ahmad Hawkins, that we had put over there. But, you know, real quick on Willie Roaf again. It was one of the most convoluted trades I've ever made. It took a long time to get it done. And obviously, New Orleans wanted an awful lot for him, and he was coming off of the surgery. And we had to come to something that made sense to us draft-wise. It's a 4th-round draft pick that may go higher based on his play time. But he is great talent.
You know, sometimes a change in scenery does the best for somebody. And I think Willie Roaf, of all people, is gonna be happy here as a Kansas City Chief.
So Chris Brown hits the field goal and cuts the Chiefs' lead back to 10, 19-9. More with Carl Peterson. Will return after these messages from your local station.
From the cold, clean waters of Alaska comes the Alaskan Seafood Fest at Long John Silver's. Plenty of fresh new tastes to choose from, like our new Gold Rush platter, piled high with fish, crab cakes, and much more. There's fresh baked salmon in our baked Alaskan salmon platter, cool, crisp avalanche seafood salad, plus our famous batter-dipped whitefish combo, only $2.99. It's all served fast and fresh, but hurry, the fest is for a limited time. Head north to Long John Silver's. The Alaskan Seafood Fest is on.
Johnson residence?
Yes.
Experience all the action of racing with the Great Clips 500 Racing CD. It's free with every haircut. Plus, get a free trial to Real One Super Pass from Real Networks, featuring exclusive online programming from the most exciting media brands. You better hurry, because this offer's going fast. Free racing CD with every haircut. Only at Great Clips.
After the turnover, the Chiefs hold, and the field goal by Chris Brown makes it 19-9. Dick Vermeil now 8:40 away from going 2-0, and he's thought, Carl, and do you agree that they're way ahead of the pace of a year ago coming out of camp in River Falls?
Absolutely. I think it was one of our best camps, certainly in the 14 years I've been involved. And I think people are responding to what Dick wants to do and how he wants it done. And the obvious is we are ahead of last year at this time.
Well, the guy that's ahead of last year at this time is back there. Well, Dante Hall isn't back there right now, but Dante Hall has had a heck of a preseason so far. Dick Vermeil let him know, hey, listen, you've got to make it as a receiver, and he's done a nice job in that calling.
He really stepped up, and again, his experience of a year ago in the NFL EL, I think, helped, but he's just so much more confident in what he's doing, touching the ball in all aspects, and he is quick.
Here is Blaylock back. They're going to try an onside kick, and the Chiefs have got it. And it's going to be picked up by Hartz. I tell you, Hartz has had an interception last week. He made a play earlier, and he does again. And they were not surprised, Carl. They did a great job.
I'll tell you, Frank Gantz Jr. looked like they were expecting it and almost ran it back for a touchdown.
You can't teach instinct, obviously. That's a very nice play. Great job right here. A little onside shades of Philadelphia last year, and they learned their lesson. And right here, Hartz picks up the ball and almost runs it back for a touchdown. Shades of Denver Broncos. Remember a couple, what was that, about maybe 9 years ago? I'm dating myself now, but onside kick, we ran one back against Denver here, back when we had turf.
That was 100 years ago, Tom.
I know. That's all I have left, Carl. Give me a break. Give him a few memories, will you?
From the 25 is where the Chiefs now will inherit this football. Joe Germain is the quarterback. He is scrambling around, throwing far side, broken up. Reggie Jones, the intended receiver. Speaking of quarterbacks, what do you think of Trent Green tonight?
Very pleased again. You know, he very accurate, very calm and cool. Again, no interceptions, and converted some important third downs. I don't know what his quarterback rating is for the first 2 games, but it's good. And last week he was good with that first drive. So,
well, I think that Trent Green, you know, I think he needs to have a couple back-to-back good outings. I think he has. You know, start with back-to-back good series, have back-to-back good outings, and get yourself on a roll.
Yeah, I would agree. And he's so much more comfortable this year because he's been able to work the entire year.
Well, the Chiefs picked up the blitz well, and Reggie Jones drops the ball at the 12-yard line. You know, you look at Trent Green, and Dick and you were talking about this, that he really hasn't played all that much. You think about it, he's been a starter for 2 full seasons, and he's a babe as far as experience is concerned.
Well, yes, he did play at Washington for 1 year, but, you know, coming off that knee injury a year ago, spring, he rehabbed the whole year. He wasn't involved in the mini camps or the coaching sessions, and this year is different. He's been able to do all those.
And I tell you what, I love his charisma, don't you? His leadership ability.
He's a good guy. You know, and he took a little flack last year, and he weathered the storm, and he's come out flying this year, and you got to be happy. That's got to show a little bit of his character.
Blaylock, he was interfered with on that play.
He was. I'd agree. You know, Trent has really become a leader. He's a guy that players like. He spends time, Tim, as you know, in the locker room. That's so important for a quarterback. I mean, a guy like Joe Montana, and I'm not comparing Trent to Joe, but Joe was a regular guy, right? He was a regular Joe, pardon the pun, but in the locker room and spent time with the guys and liked that, and they liked him. So.
Well, I know everybody in Kansas City wants to know. I know this is a question of all questions. How's it going?
How's it going with me? I'm doing great. You know, every day's good training camp. And, you mean some other aspects of the Chiefs that there's some interest in?
Is Tony, how's it going? Anything new?
No, I have not heard from him this week. Of course, he was on the sideline with us last week, and I think he liked that. You know, Tim, I don't know. We all play this game and for a lot of different reasons, but I remember going through this with Will Shields a few years ago, and Will said, you know, I need 2 preseason games. So he came in, signed the tender, and then we went ahead. And, you know, at some point, Tony has to make a decision. He's going to play this year. how much preparation does he need? And I would hope that hopefully I'll get a phone call this week.
How about Ryan Sims?
Well, there's been no communication there in any extensive form. Denny did talk for a few moments with his agent this morning, but really no discernible progress. And you know, we just at some point you got to say enough's enough.
Here's Moses, open field, 10, and he's got a 1st and goal. He's fun.
Another situation where they're getting these wide receivers the ball with just a little 2 or 3 yard passes and letting their skills take over. And nice jobs by Holmes. Watch it. You know, this sometimes it's good to be a little smaller guy. He kind of sneaks out here, makes a catch, and turns on the jets and almost makes a move and splits 2 guys. And it looks like a face mask there. No flag there, but I guess they're throwing enough of those already.
Well, speaking of wide receivers, there's about 11 guys battling for the positions 3 through whatever.
Yeah, we're going to have some tough decisions because we're not sure we're going to keep 5 or 6 this year, but there's a lot of competition at that position. We're pleased about that. Hopefully we're better.
That's Frank Moreau, who you just signed this week, who was with the Chiefs briefly, with the Texans actually during the first part of this offseason. But to get back to the wide receiver spot, that was an area you really tried to address in the offseason. It looked like you did.
Yes, you know, Johnny Morton was, I think, a very good acquisition. And, you know, Freeman is just coming on so much. Eddie Kennison, I mean, that he will be a starter. I mean, some people thought maybe he's not a starter, he's a 3rd guy, but I think he's a starter, and he's made big plays for us and will continue to do so.
He's really matured, hasn't he?
Eddie Kennison has really matured. He's just had their 2nd child, and I think that's helped.
Oh, Chad Hayes, the intended receiver, broke it up at the last moment. That would have been an exciting catch for him.
Yeah, that would. It was a little underthrown. But
a guy that I like is he's kind of like the Chucky, the doll that just won't go away, you know, is Reggie Jones. He's been here about 3 or 4 times. He went out to San Diego and came back. Here's a guy, he really runs nice routes. He's made some plays in here in the preseason.
Yeah, and he's a world-class sprinter. So we have addressed the speed, and I think it's what Dick and Al Saunders been looking for, and hopefully we'll get 5, maybe 6 receivers out of this group that are going to help us in 2002.
I'll tell you that Mark the Bull Richter looks good. I mean, he's had the appendectomy, haven't had a chance, but every time he goes out, he makes a play. He did this week. A great catch. There's Jermaine being sacked back outside the 10 to the 12-yard line, but you got Bull Richter. You have Morton, you mentioned him, Dante Hall. Curtis Jackson's done a nice job.
Very nice, very nice. And, you know, I like I said, Bo Richter, unfortunately, has not been able to practice, although he got in Thursday, and I'll tell you, made a spectacular one-handed catch. I mean, it was special. So he'll be 100% ready to go Monday.
People don't realize how tall he is. He's a pretty tall guy.
He's 6'5", and he's, you know, 6'4", 6'5", and he was one of the leading receivers in Canada.
Tynes has a 29-yard field goal blocked. He's going to try to pick it up and got out of bounds about the 21-yard line with 5:26. And we'll be back to further visit with Carl Peterson. The Chiefs by 10, 19-9. We'll return after these messages from your local station.